check. Alright, I think we're going. I had to restart so that the updates would take effect. I updated my driver and for NVIDIA and I couldn't get the stream to start. Alright, so how's everybody doing? It's 6:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's January the 29th, 2026, and I hope y'all doing good. So let's get to it. If I talk about something today, I've been seeing, goodness gracious, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Microsoft and them being a real kind of a shit ass. Which is no surprise whatsoever. So I thought I'd show y'all a better way. We can overcome, gents and lady. All right, so check this out. I'm gonna shrink me down. Shrink. No, not move. Just shrink. Shrink. All right. Awesome. Now, let's get my screen capture going and... Alright, let's get into it. So, Microsoft sucks, we all agree. Always has, always will. Maybe we'll do a Microsoft episode. This is not a Microsoft episode. This is about Linux. Now, Linux. The Linux kernel is based on Unix. Unix is very widely used in servers and machines and older stuff and newer stuff. It's the basis of the Android phone code, and Chrome OS, I believe, is based off of Unix. It could be based off of Linux. I don't know. I just want to talk about Linux. Now, I use Ubuntu. I've been using this for over 8 years. I still don't know how to say it. And it's pretty compatible with stuff, and there is an aspect of familiarity. And here's why. So when I started using Ubuntu, I'd been using a MacBook, and it was Snow Leopard or, Blizzard Kitty or Sabretooth or something. When I switched over, I was very pleasantly surprised that the operating system from Linux was very similar. You could even set it up to look just like it, and you can set it up to look like Windows too. It's up to you, whatever you want to do there. It does run Steam, as you can see. I've got it written right there. It does run Steam, and there's Steam. Okay, we'll fire it up. Now most of the games work just fine. Granted, my library is largely older games, but they do work. And the Hogwarts game, and the new, or the PS4 first God of War, and the first PS4 Spider-Man, they work. Your mileage may vary. We'll get into that. Go ahead and get that going. The Steam Deck uses Linux, and the Steam machine uses Linux. Oh, Steam, you're trying so hard right now, buddy. Alright. Stuff like webcams generally works pretty good. I've also plugged in my Action Cam, which is like a Chinese knockoff version of a GoPro. It's called a Caso. That works just fine right through USB, and you can even plug it in and use it as a webcam if you wanted to. Let's see, phones. Androids and iPhones will plug in and connect, and you can mount the hard drives, and you can access it just like it's an external hard drive. It's a really good way to add files. There's no iTunes for Linux, so you just mount the iPhone, and then you can just add stuff and subtract it as you want to. And if you have a problem with something working, like a webcam or a microphone or whatever, well, there is generic drivers that'll usually make it work. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I'm having some issues with my micro SD card reader at the moment. I can't get that code cracked. But the answer's there. We'll figure it out, chat. Don't worry about it. Let's see. The software that you use is open source. So this right here is called Discover, and it's sort of like the App Store. But there's other ways you can download apps. You can open up the terminal, which is the command line interface aspect of the operation of Linux, and you can just tell it to find it and get it for you, and it'll do that. When I downloaded this, I got what's called Ubuntu Studio, and it comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff for graphic design, audio production, video production. It's sort of a custom loadout specifically for recording. And let's see if this saved my links whenever I did the restart here. Oh, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's all weird size. Okay, yeah. So they have a website, ubuntustudio.org. There's also just Ubuntu that's not Studio, but I mean this picture sort of represents what you get. It's for nerdy creatives, and that's what we like, right? I mean, that's me. I'm into that. I'll take that. It's useful. Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out some stuff. That's where I got the information for the driver. Anyways, Ubuntu Studio is very comprehensive with the things that it offers, and the options are open source, but there are licensed versions that you could pay for the license and you'd have maybe a better product. I don't know, I'll just take the free one. No. The terminal, like I was saying, it's the command line aspect of the operating system, and you can just, well, there we go. Yeah, no. Alright, well, there you go. Terminal. And you're just going to type in what you want it to do right up here, and it'll get to work for you. Terminal's very, very useful. The apps, the programs, they are developer made by the people who make the stuff that one would pay licenses for or are very enthusiastic about it. So the community is supported by those developers. So you have a developer supported community. And many applications are designed to be very similar to the commercial version. For instance, this is LibreOffice Writer, and it's got, most of the stuff that at least old school Microsoft Word or something like that would have. I don't know about the new stuff. I'm sure it's a little different, but I like the old stuff. You know what I mean? I like the old stuff. Now, you do have the option to use the commercial version in many cases if they have a Linux version. It just depends. There are emulators for using Windows applications. There may be emulators for using Mac applications. I don't know. Presumably you would just have a Mac if you were going to run the Mac applications, right? There are many console emulators, so like Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Wii, NES, Game Boy Advance, all of those systems, Sega, PS1, 2, 3, 4, they all have emulators on Linux, and that's probably true on the other operating systems too. I don't know. You can run Linux on nearly any machine that has a screen and a USB port, and also like an input keyboard or something like that. I don't know that you could probably run it on a TV, but you'd still need a computer to enter things, or a keyboard rather, to enter things. You can also optionally install the CD or the operating system from the USB. So you could plug it into any computer and boot it up from the USB disk at the boot screen, or you could just install it. So you can try it out. You get to test drive it. Partitioning your hard drive is really easy. There's some little programs for that. And the dual boot system, setting that up is easy so that you could actually have Windows and a Linux operating system on the same machine. And then you just choose which one you want to boot up and go from there. You know, like I've still got Windows on this machine. It's just over here by itself, and we don't talk to it very much. You can keep Windows on a separate partition, is my point. You can access either operating system at any time. You got to restart. I mean, you got to restart your computer and go back to the boot screen, but that's how you do it. You can easily change aspects of the boot process, like the boot order, or the device that it boots from, like USB or hard drive or whatever, or whether you want it to boot Linux automatically, or whether you want it to boot Windows automatically, or whether you want to do safe mode or just stay in BIOS mode. You have access to change all that, and I know, nerds, you have access to change all that on the other ones too. That's not my point, okay? My point is, there's no nanny state AI spying on you using keyloggers, screen watching, on any of that, and it is very, very easy to disable the audio and video input entirely. You have a whole control panel down here. You can just turn it on and fire this up, hit this little button, and you can turn off the microphone. You can turn the volume down or turn it off altogether, but there are commands you can drop into terminal that will just disable that stuff anyways. It's mute, mute, mute. And I know, it's on other systems too, nerds. I know, buddies. I know. Let's keep it together, though. Because the point is that, to my knowledge, when you download Linux, you get to use Linux, and nobody's looking over your shoulder, at least not from Linux. We won't get off into the weeds about backdoors into machinery and systems and whatnot. But at least from the developer end, and I could be proven wrong tomorrow because I didn't make any of this shit. Okay? I'm just talking from what I understand to be the case. I'm not a subject matter expert. I'm just a daily user, So I'm like a usage subject matter sort of casual expert. I'm the best of the best. Not the best of the best. Updates are not forced upon you automatically, nor are you forced to be always online to verify the license of the software you are borrowing. And your mileage might vary on that depending on what software you might want to run through Linux. They might have something, a third party may have something that would require you, like for instance Steam. You can't just always play your games on Steam without getting on to the internet if the game won't let you do anything without doing that first. If it's an always online game, then you ain't gonna play it without it being online, unless someone has a hack or a break for that or something, which is possible. And the best of all is that fraud Bill Gates is not involved whatsoever. Again, I could find out I'm wrong about that tomorrow. Billy Gates, he ain't involved, and that's a good thing. Now granted, that garbage Windows is still on my computer, but it's not running right now, so it is what it is. Now, you will likely install it yourself when you decide to do this. Not if, but when. And I'm hoping it'll be after this. You will likely install it yourself, which will increase your familiarity with the system, and that's a good thing. It's like working on your car. You want to be able to do that. And I want to give a shout out to Linus Torvald. He created Linux and released it in 1991. Probably should have put that up here somewhere. But hey. I thought of him after I thought of the good Mr. Gates. So, sorry, Linus. Anyways, there are some cons. All right. Now, cons. People ain't familiar with it, and they still dumbly trust Windows. You're probably not gonna get out of that at work, at your job, but at your house. Come on, guys. It's time. Just like it's time to cut that shit off that's on the news, it's time to switch over to Linux, man. Come on and join the party. Now, there isn't support for all apps, but there are a great deal of apps inside this briefcase right here. This is called Discover, and it's the App Store. So let's check this out. You can search, but they have a gazillion, kabillion different apps, and you get access to all of your updates right here. Here's your about information. You can see these folks' pictures. That pops up every time. It's very cool. Very cool. You can actually see some pretty good information about your computer here, not even having to dig around too far. Over here in settings, I keep all this stuff on my little taskbar because I'm a dork. You can see some pretty good information about your system. Like you can see, I'm using Ubuntu Studio 24.04. I've got the KDE Plasma version 5.27.12 and the framework of 5.11.5. Qt version 5.15.13, and there's sort of different ways you can log in. The other way, there's two different ones, and the other one that's not Wayland, it'll not run your HDMI signal out to your TV. It's very odd. It's like it shuts off the video card or something, you know, because I've got as you can see, I have a not insubstantial amount of RAM. And man, I'm glad I got that back in the day. I really slid under the wire like 4 years ago when I upgraded my RAM. But I have let's see, still have my, alright, well I have a GeForce 1650 graphics card, which is probably garbage, I don't know, but it runs all the games I like to play, so it's definitely not garbage to me. Now check this out, let's look at Steam for a second. See if we finish the list. Oh, we didn't finish the list. We'll finish the list first. Alright. So, like I said, people aren't familiar with it, and they still dumbly rely and trust Windows. And there isn't support for all apps. There is a learning curve, but it's a good kind of learning curve. You have to do more stuff to do certain things, and there are more steps because you have more control. That's a good thing. More control equals more customization, and more customization can be overwhelming. And there may be a lack of compatibility with certain devices. For instance, my micro SD reader, which is built in, has issues. Even if the majority of devices work as well or better, there's no iTunes. So you will have to manually back up or use another method. You can just mount it. You can plug the phone in, say trust the computer, mount it, and it'll read it as an external hard drive, and you can add and remove stuff however you want to. Not all programs are 100% reliable. But then again, neither is Windows shit, right? Now you will likely have to install it yourself, which will force familiarity with the system. And you might notice that that's just reworded because that's one of the cons, but it's a pro and it's a con. Because for the right people, it's a pro, because you're getting under the hood. For the other right people, it's a con. Because it's nice to have things done for you, right? Ladies. No offense. Licenses from other OS do not transfer as far as I know. Your mileage will vary on that because I don't know. I didn't transfer any licenses. Audacity is pretty neat. It's basic, but you can record through it pretty well. I have a Behringer mixer that plugs in USB to the side of my computer, and it comes straight through the mic right into the system. That's what I'm talking into right now. This is a Shure Beta 58 vocal mic. Come on now. This is Audacity, and it'll run straight from my Behringer 8-channel mixer into the USB, and then you can just record right here. But like I said, it's what I'm using in OBS right now. That's what we're talking through. And Linux is pretty awesome. I mean, I wouldn't go back. And the best part is, you can just partition your hard drive and you can keep it. You can keep that Windows garbage if you ever need to go in there and use it again. You know? You don't have to completely wipe it. You'll probably want to, you know? But it is what it is on that. Keep it or don't keep it. That's up to you. But let's look at the Steam thing here, the Steam situation. Now, I haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey on here. I didn't like that game very much. It wasn't Assassin's Creedy. Batman Arkham Asylum, it runs perfect. Bioshock, it also runs pretty good. I know it's older. I haven't played Skyrim on here yet. Haven't played Hogwarts on here. I have played God of War, I just don't have it installed, and I've played that, and they both run fine on here. And Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor also runs great, and so does that old game Prototype, man. Prototype's so much fun. I've got them both. I just don't have them all. Don't have them both installed. See, I've got like as far as I know, and I know these two will definitely run in Linux. Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4, those will both run in here just fine. So, if you're like me and you buy the games on sale when they're like $5, or when there's a whole bunch of them together for like, you know, $5, then you'll have plenty of games to get you by. I mean, look, I've got all these Counter-Strike games. They all run, they're old, you know, they run just fine on here. Bioshock Infinite runs just fine on here. You can play all these and more. Especially, I love you, Half-Life. Yeah, that's my jam right there, man. Half-Life, buddy. Yeah, so pretty soon we'll start doing some video game breakdowns of some of the so-called quote-unquote truth breadcrumbs that might be in video games that I've noticed over the years, and I'm pretty excited about that, because I'm going to have to jump back into some of these games, and that's going to be fun. And I'm going to do it on Linux, man. We're going to do it on Linux. So, if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, or even if you're not on the fence, go ahead and do it. Go download it and stick it on a USB, and just plug it into your computer and boot it up and see how it works for you. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's just on the YouTube, or it's just on the USB. You're not risking anything as far as your computer goes. Your computer won't even be doing anything. Everything will be happening from the USB. There's little magic, it's like USB circuit gnomes, and they go in there and spin these wheels with their bicycles and make it run. So your computer doesn't have to. It's great. It's very technical. Linux. Linus did a good job on the magic USB gnomes, and they're very fast. So give them a shot. Check it out, man. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really don't. I know I wasn't. So, Linux. How can it work for you? Very easily and pretty well, it turns out. So, yeah. Y'all have a good evening. And peace out.